let's look at question number 3 in JAMB Math 2014 exam. We are told that a woman bought a grinder for 60,000 naira. She sold it at a loss of 15%. So we want to know how much she actually sold it for. So with this type of word problems, it's very important that we properly label all the information that we're given. So let's go ahead and do that. We are told the cost price, we can just call it CP, is 60,000 naira. We are told the percentage loss, we're going to call it P loss, is equal to 15%. And we are not given the selling price, let's call it SP. So we're going to call that X for now. Now, common sense should tell you that the amount of loss in Naira that this person made is whatever the thing cost, so let's call it CP, subtracted by whatever they sold it for. Let's call that SP or X. So we already know that CP is equal to 60,000 naira. And we know that SP, we've already decided to call SPX. Now, what else do we know? We know that the percentage loss is equal to the total amount lost divided by the price, that's the cost price, multiplied by 100. Alright, so based on what we know, we can just plug in the values of everything we have been given. We were already told percentage loss is 15. We are told that the loss, which we already calculated to be 60,000 minus X divided by the cost price, missing a minus, divided by the cost price, which is again 60,000. This whole thing multiplied by 100. So we have an equation with an X in it, and all we have to do is solve for X. So this should be a very straightforward process. What I would do in this case is I would multiply each side by 60,000 in order to remove the 60,000 from the denominator of the right side. So let's just do that. Let's multiply this by 60,000. And we're going to multiply this side by 60,000. Then this allows us to cross out the 60,000 on Then this allows us to cross out the 60,000 from the denominator on the right side. And just to clean up a little bit, let me rewrite what we have left. So what we have is 15 times 60,000 on one side. And we have that being equal to 60,000 minus X whole quantity multiplied by 100. So again, our goal is to isolate the x on the left side. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 100. This allows us to cross out the hundreds on the right side of the equation, which leaves us with 60,000 minus x on the right side of the equation, and 15 times 60,000 divided by 100 on the left side of the equation. So now all we have to do is subtract 60,000 from both sides of the equation. We are left with 15 times 60,000 divided by 100 being equal to 60,000 minus x. So if we subtract 60,000 from both sides of the equation, we end up with what you see here. And further simplification leads us to the following: 15 times 60,000 over 100 minus 60,000 is equal to minus x. If we cross out the 100 from the denominator on the left side, we can remove two zeros on the right side. If we multiply 600 by 15, we're left with 9,000. Therefore, we now know that 9,000 minus 60,000 is equal to minus x, which means that minus 51,000 is equal to minus x. Therefore, x is equal to 51,000. Now, before you rush and declare victory, with these types of word problems, it's very important that you try to use your common sense to verify if your answer matches what you expect. So we are told that the woman bought this grinder at 60,000 and she sold it for a 15% loss. So now we know she sold it for 51,000, which is definitely a loss because she sold it for less than what she bought it for. And so based on that, we know that our answer is consistent with what we expected. If you did all this work and you found out that x was some number greater than 60,000, then you know you have done something wrong, since selling for more than 60,000 would not be a loss, but instead would be a profit.